What about now?
Don't go live.
I already went live.
Oh, I can hear you now. Why is it? Good morning. Welcome to the F1 Chat Pod. Something that happens on irregular times with low viewership, and we're proud of that.
Something good happened, did you say?
Nothing good's happened.
No. That's what I like. So this is you fresh out of bed, 8 a.m.?
Well, I was fresh out of bed at 7:22.
Attaboy. Do you leap out of bed?
No,
How do you, what would the viewers at home see if we podcasted live from your bedroom as you woke up?
you would see a reaching to the phone because the
Yeah.
phone is my alarm because your phone is everything nowadays.
It's everything.
So there's that, and then there'll be a snooze associated with that.
Oh, you snooze.
Yeah, it's silly. I do,
How
and
many
then
times?
depends on how tired I am or how much pizza I ate before I went to bed.
Did you eat pizza last night?
I was coming back from skiing, and I did Too Good to Go, where you go onto an app and find stores that are going to throw food away, and I eat their food.
No.
Yep, I'm trying to save money, and I'm collecting. I'm going to clip cans. I'm going to collect cans now.
And Christina says, so embarrassing.
I don't know why. Humans are the best. Humans are the best recyclers. We should eat everything.
What did you eat last night and where did you find it and how was it?
It was Hell's Crust pizza. It was in Squamish. It was average. Sorry, Hell's Crust.
How old was it and did you pick it out of the back of a dumpster or
No,
how does this
for
work?
the app. Sign up for the app. You go, hey, you look to pick up now, and there's like they've had pizzas or depends on what they've had in their in their oven on the pizza.
Yeah.
In the store, and they just put it in a box and it's yours.
And do you tip them?
No, I'm stop tipping.
Good for you. The other day I went in and got 3. Granted, it was a fancy place, but I didn't have much choice. I was going over to my friend Chris's house last minute. I wanted to pick, he had beer and I can't drink beer anymore for some reason. And so I wanted to pick up a can of something, a can of wine or a can of cocktail.
A can of wine.
Yeah, you know how they do this now. It's fancy. It's still fancy, but it's in a can. They're like $8 or $9. You buy a can of wine. And I got it from this it was this great place called Grape Witches. Anyways, I've got 2 cans of wine and a pack of crisps. They were crisps because they were from Ireland. So they were $7 for the bag or something like that. But
always
whatever.
have to be different. The Irish always have to be different.
And it was cheese and onion, which I just love so much. And the lady at the desk was Irish. And I had an Edna O'Brien book. She's Irish. So we got to talking. Anyways, she rang me up. It was $28 after tax. And then the tipping started at 18%. I brought everything to the counter.
I know. We're at a...
What do I do? I panicked. Of course I did 18%, the lowest I could, because otherwise she's sitting there staring at you as you navigate a custom tip.
It's overwhelming.
It's stressful, man.
It's very overwhelming. But speaking of tips, we should get a tip for this show. People should tip us for this.
We got to get a viewer first.
I have a question about cheese and onion.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I still have questions about Hell's Crust. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were going to ask about. There was more to me getting out of bed too.
Oh yeah, there is more.
So, cheese and onion in the crisps.
I could eat some right now, even though
I know, but do you have cheese and onion when it's not crisps?
Oh yeah, it's from a sandwich. The cheese and onion sandwich is a classic British fare. You should know this. You do. Deep down in your bones.
Maybe I do know that, but a cheese and onion, I'll try one today. Like raw onion?
Yeah. What you do is you grate sharp cheddar. You what do they call it over there? Old nippy.
Old nippy cheddar.
Yeah. Nippy cheddar. with some sweeter onion, like a sweet white or a red onion. And then you mash that up with mayonnaise, obviously. And then you put that on the whitest bread you can find.
Okay, I'll try that.
And that'll speak to you on a deep and primal level.
Okay.
1,000 years of milk bags will like scream from your taste receptors.
Just like it sounds so typical of a British offering.
So good.
Just so bland and blah,
Yeah.
and just
When I was
we'll
there,
find some parsnips and dig them out of the ground, and we'll
oh
just
yeah,
chew on them.
I don't like those. The parsnips and the turnips I don't like. But when I was back in the home country last May, I ate a lot of cheese and onion sandwiches.
A lot of cheese and onion. Hey,
Any,
sweetheart, can you fill up my coffee?
anyway, anyway.
Baby,
Wow.
baby, get in here and fill up my coffee, baby.
Goodness, what's that face?
Baby, come on. Fill up my coffee for me.
It's my impersonation of Robin Williams, 1982.
Oh, that is good. That is
I'd
good.
like to say something, JV.
Oh my
Say it
God,
into
look
that.
at
I
you.
do not condone these last minute buy food at places that are stale.
She can't hear me. I'm with you.
He agrees.
So tell me more about the Hell's Crust. So you
Can I have a
walk
bit more
in,
coffee in there? Let's get right to the tops.
David.
Can I be a guest on your podcast?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Christina.
What's it like dating a 20-something?
Oh my God, it's amazing.
She looks like she's 28.
She keeps getting younger. It's weird.
Do you use her skin?
No, does it
regiment?
look like I do?
Does
Just take a moment.
Have you found those in
Stupidest
the back
question
of,
on earth came
in the
from
back
Jason
of
Bryden
the
this morning.
dumpster?
Do I use the
So-
same skin regimen as you because you look like you're 27?
Oh, thanks, JV. I love you.
I love you too. She gave it to me once, but it was too expensive.
Well, your skin's looking good.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I do have a skin guy, but I can't really afford him. Anyway, I don't have insurance anymore. Anyway, let's get
What?
back to.
Oh, you stopped paying for it.
I stopped
well,
paying for it.
We have free dental now, don't we? Up here in Canada?
We do, as long as you don't have insurance of any kind, and you have to make under 90 grand a year combined household, I think. But that reminds me, I should look into that because my insurance just ended. So
Well,
let
I
me
mean,
write that down. That's Jugmeat. That's Jugmeat's dental insurance right there.
mhm.
Way to go, Jugmeat.
Yeah. So to finish how I get up in the morning.
Yeah, please.
So when I finally, oops, sorry guys for the noise. When I'm finally ready to get out of bed, I usually struggle with the sheets or the blankets, get irritated with them momentarily because they get tangled up.
Yeah.
And so I whip them off.
Yeah.
And then I usually go straight to the washroom, sit down.
Yeah.
I don't stand up anymore.
No, me neither.
I sit down.
Why stand when you can sit?
Yeah.
You know who said that? Winston Churchill. So, anyways, keep going. So you're sitting there on the toilet.
Yeah, and then I take care of my business, and then I get up, and then I do one of two things. I either drink a big cup of water, or I do warm water, cayenne pepper, lemon, and honey. Probably turmeric soon. Turmeric. Is it turmeric?
I say turmeric, but it's probably wrong.
Turmeric. I like turmeric. It's like Tim and Eric.
Yeah. So that's your. So let's get back to the pizza then. So walk me through you walking into Hell's Crust and saying, "I'm here for the free pizza."
Well, it's not free.
Oh, okay.
You pay like basically what I would have paid for 2 fresh slices, which probably would have been their old slices anyways, because they'd been sitting in the thing.
Yeah.
They give me the rest of their slices.
For how much?
$8. Boom.
So you spent $8 and you got how much food?
A large pizza.
You got a whole large pizza, and it was how old? Like, was it cold?
Good day. the day. No, they reheat it for you.
They do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And how much of that did you eat?
3.
And did you regret that afterwards?
Well, I only regret it because I was eating it at like 9:30 or whatever it was at night, which is bad.
That is bad, but
'Cause
it's so
usually-
hard when your schedule's off.
Well, I was skiing, so everything kind of got out of whack.
Yeah.
I just wish that there was a pill you could take when you're hungry at night so you don't eat at night. Why don't they make that?
They do. It's called a sleeping pill.
Mm. Well, I was driving, so I couldn't take that then.
That's true. Yeah, I don't eat that. I haven't eaten pizza in ages. I'm not off of it. I just find that that's the worst kind of carb right there, that one. It makes me feel so fat.
It's pizza in general is the best. I really do enjoy pizza.
That's your favorite, hey?
Like, well, when I'm thinking of like, oh, I want to eat something quick.
Yeah.
A pizza's it's pretty good. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's flavorful. I mean, if it's good, I mean, you know, but usually you got to be really bad at making pizza to make a bad pizza. Thin crust pizza is definitely better. No doubt about it. JB, how do you get up in the morning?
Well, first time I get up is around 3.
What?
And
3 in the morning?
yeah. And I pee, and then I can't get back to sleep. So I turn the light on and I read for about an hour and a half. Then I go back to sleep for 2 hours. So I go to sleep at 10, sleep till 3, that's 5 hours, and then I get another 2 hours later on. So it isn't terrible, but it could be way better. I'd love to be able to sleep through the night, but I still drink too much water before bed. I'm always thirsty before bed. I guess it's because I haven't drank enough water during the day.
Yeah, you got to schedule your water consumption.
I got to schedule my water better.
There's an app for that, probably.
I don't want to look at my phone any more than I
Neither do
already
I.
do. And looking at the phone also affects my sleep, so I try not to do that. But where else are you supposed to get the porn?
Well, I thought you were off that.
No, I'm back on.
Yeah, it's tricky. You know what? Here's what I think is funny about the phone. It's called your cell phone, but we don't actually use it for phone calls anymore.
No,
and because they're all spam. So you have a TV, which is a pager. That's what you have now. That's your phone.
You have a TV that's a pager, and we don't even watch TV anymore.
No, we can only handle 20 seconds of something.
Language is the English language once again has failed to keep up with the times as they're a changing.
Well, apparently the younger kids are buying dumb phones.
Well, that's what mine have.
Well, they're going to like that. They're in that's what people want now. Dumb phones, apparently.
I don't know. My youngest is still like, Dad, when can I get it? When can you make my phone smart?
Tell him he's then
never. I said what you can do it when you leave this house.
Oh, nice. JB.
I won't have any choice then, I guess, but still you're going to waste your life, but I guess
so he'll run away from home next year, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. And he's fast too.
Mm-hmm. You'll never catch him. Now, JB, we got 3 amazing races coming up.
Tell me all about them.
Triple header. We have the Flavio Briatore story.
Yeah.
The Flavio Briatore story is absolutely incredible. He was kicked out of Formula One for rigging a race and cheating.
Yeah.
And somehow this monster has made his way back into Formula One.
I love it.
He risked someone's life. He goes, "Hey, Nelson Piquet Jr., how about you crash the car?
Yeah.
Drive your car into the wall."
And this was in 2012?
I can't remember when it was. It
wasn't that long ago,
no,
but it was
15 years ago. 15 years ago, something.
But it was long enough that I'm wondering, after the safety measures back then, were they like they are today? Or were people still dying back then? Drivers, I mean.
No, well, people can still die today, but back then it would probably be marginally more dangerous. And all it takes is like a piece of metal or whatever to fly off and hit a marshal in the face, and they're dead.
There's some people, and Flavio is in this camp, that just have a horseshoe up their Italian ass for their whole life.
I,
I mean,
I
he was a fugitive on the run. You know, he
was
should have
he?
been he should have done time in an Italian prison for fraud.
See,
But he left and lived in St. Vincent in the Caribbean and hid from law enforcement. Then Benetton called him up and said, "Will you help me open Benetton in America?" And Flavio negotiated a deal where he would get a taste of every new franchise or every new store location, and he opened up 900 stores and made himself hundreds of millions of dollars.
so Benetton are like, you know what we need
I
to help
mean,
us get into America is we need a criminal. So what does that say about America?
we need Flavio. Flavio lives with his son in Monaco. Maybe his son is into breaking you in.
I don't understand how he was allowed back into the Formula after they did all this and they kicked him out. But I guess there was some other court, a higher Supreme Court, said no. What he did was it's okay. He served enough.
No, it was the FIA.
No, but then there was some other court outside of the system that said what the FIA did
Oh,
was not legit.
I see.
So maybe the idea is if you've done something wrong, you just go to a different court or put different Supreme Court judges in that you can control.
I mean, the F1 and sport in general has no. Why do you want me to? What are you doing? Do you want me to look at you drinking coffee?
I'm just having fun. Hey, it's
Oh, you're having fun.
8:24.
I love your attitude. Normally, you're way crankier than this. We should
Come
do it first
on.
thing in the morning more often.
Come on, JB. I'm not cranky.
What? What I'm more surprised than Flavio being allowed in, is that Alpine wanted him. I mean, if
Well,
you've seen him in Drive to Survive, cognitive disintegration is a real thing. He's 75. He can barely work a cell phone, although that describes me too.
he does. I mean, first of all, it's hard to understand.
He
So there's going to
mumbles.
be communication errors.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It's the same with Helmut Marko. I get it. The only old person that should have been allowed in Formula One was Niki Lauda, and then he died. Niki Lauda he never should have died because he was the only old person
Yeah.
that was like laser
Yeah.
focused.
Yeah. He was so cool. Hey.
Have you watched any documentaries about Niki Lauda?
No, I gotta do that.
You should. It's pretty amazing. He was also a very good race car driver. And he almost died and burnt to a crisp, and he came back as
And he came back.
an onion and cheese sandwich.
Yeah, he looked like shit, but what a great
Mhm.
guy. Yeah, the amount of competence and entrepreneurial brilliance that comes out of a Flavio, a Helmut, even David Coulthard, although he's not a maniac, belies their on-camera persona, where you just go, "What? How are you so successful? I think you're insane."
Eddie Jordan was incredibly successful too.
He was too, but he didn't have that narcissism that Flavio and Helmut have.
No. Eddie Jordan was seemed like I mean, I've never met him, and what's my opinion matter? But he seemed like the type of guy where he wanted everyone to party and do well. That's what he seemed like.
And he had that spirit, which I think is entirely Irish, where you care about the crack more than anything, really.
Mm-hmm.
You care about having fun with friends. You care about a good time. You care about letting your hair down. In his case, putting hair on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like his wife bought him a wig once
And
when he was losing his hair, and he was like, "Yeah, fuck it. Now I wear wigs."
Yeah.
Like a crazy person, but not in a bad way. Not in like
no.
it wasn't about his ego. He was just like, "Yeah, okay, I wear wigs now." And
Yeah,
he stayed married for so long, and he was such a nice fella, it seemed.
Yep. And now he's gone. He's gone the other side.
And now he's with Nikki
Yeah.
in that big race course up in the sky.
They got a lot to say. So here's my thought on Alpine. They've changed their team leader, their big boss man for running the race team now. I think it's something absurd, like 9 times in like whatever 9 months. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
I
think it's 7 years, but
they don't change. They're not making their own engines anymore. They're going to use Mercedes.
They're going to next year.
Yeah, and I think that they're going to sell that team. I think.
It's been floated.
I think they're going to get out.
The problem is that you brought in somebody who may be operating on old intel to sell your team in business. And let me just say that this is what I've heard. I have no idea because I'm not a business person. There's that CEO that starts the startup.
Right.
Then you get another one to manage it, to grow it.
One to sell it.
You get another one to sell it. Is Flavio the guy you want to make your team that shiniest of nuggets to sell quickly? I don't know. I mean, what do I know? But he doesn't, I can't understand him. And he also does that thing that Helmut Marko does and other old men. They like to feel tough and they want to be right more than more than making good decisions.
Well, I mean, I think what's going to happen is the Mercedes engine will make the car better, and then they will do okay, and then someone's going to come along. I don't know who, but someone will buy that team, and I don't think Flavio will have to do much. The company just has to be good enough that someone wants to buy it and come in with a car that's got good pace and not at the bottom of the grid. That's what.
Do you think those celebrities that are part owners will increase their stake?
Ryan Reynolds,
Ryren, and Rob McElhenney.
Is he in on that?
I think he's in on that. And then there's a footballer. I can't remember. To me, it just seems like a dog's breakfast as far as vision goes. And they got rid of Ollie Oakes. Now, Ollie Oakes' company, what are they called?
Well, he had a racing team called, I think it was High Tech.
High Tech is also part owner of Alpine, aren't they?
I'm not sure. I think that he used to race in a junior category, and the reason why people thought that Ollie Oakes would be a good leader is because he's been doing it in other categories, just like Fred Vasseur did. Like a lot of them make their way up through the junior categories. It's like learning how to manage a race car team is like anything, right? You got to go to school for it. So he was good, and apparently he's connected with Mazepan, which is the Russian oligarch that got booted out by Haas when they invaded Ukraine. So there's some relationship there. So I wonder what's, because like the theory was that Ollie Oakes was coming in the idea that they might, like High Tech might buy Alpine.
Yeah, right.
So I don't know what's going on over there. It must be fascinating, like the business skullduggery. It must just be.
I mean, we can only guess at it knowing so little, but inside, that's really the opportunity for a great podcast, is somebody on the inside who actually wants to say something. I was thinking about like, well, what's the point of us saying anything inflammatory? Like, what's the point of what's his face, the old guy who got kicked out? He has a podcast. He's bald. Kevin.
No, Peter Windsor.
Yeah, Peter Windsor. What's the point of going the Peter Windsor way? If you don't have access, then it's not interesting at all. Then you're just relying on hearsay like we are. Like
yeah, it's true. Like, it's like, why say, you're right. Like, why
burn those bridges? Because then you won't have any juice to.
Then we don't get the. So
all we can do is speculate wildly.
Yeah,
on things we don't know,
which might be the part of the fun.
I mean, maybe that's all we can do. I still maintain that it's interesting going behind trying to figure out who the players are, what else they've done, and what it takes to become a player in F1. Because I think it's a particular kind of maniac who can pull that off.
Well, yeah. Also, like sometimes I think, like, how did you end up becoming a mechanic for an F1 team? How the
Oh
hell
yeah,
did you get to that position?
yeah,
How did you be the guy that goes, you can drive into the car coming into the pit lane? You know, how do you be the
yeah,
lollipop guy? How
yeah.
like any of that?
Hey, you keep cutting out just in short, clicky bits. And
Uh-oh.
I know that's not helpful when I say that, because what are you going to do? Yeah,
You know,
that's the sound.
maybe it's just loose.
Maybe it's a connection. I don't know. Maybe it's
Oh,
me.
no, it might have been it might be just loose. Just stick it in there,
Stick
as
it
they
in.
say.
Pull it
So
out. Put
here's
it in.
JB. I like you know, for someone who doesn't have, you know, a ton of passion about Formula One.
Thank you.
I want to know what your predictions are, because so far, it looks like Oscar Piastri. It looks like he's going to win the world championship. It feels like he's got the nerves, the calm mind, a bit of stone cold. Like, this is what I'm. This is my decision. This is what I'm doing. Um, uh, and Lando feels like a little bit on shaky ground. Feels like he's faster. Ultimately, he's just making mistakes, right? Max Verstappen, I feel like he's still going to win some races, and if somehow they do some improvement in the car, he could become a force, but it feels like he's going to be like third, maybe even fourth. I still have faith in George Russell coming through and surprising everybody. I still have faith. I think Mercedes has got something that's going to come through the pipeline and it's going to push them forward, even though he says McLaren's going to win hands down, no problem. They're too far ahead. I feel like my prediction of George still winning. I want to know what you think these three races are going to be like. Where does Max? How does Max play into it? How does George? And do you think Oscar is just going to come in and win three more races on the trot?
With Oscar, I wonder what the value is of speculating on whether he'll win or not. Just because I don't mean to reject the premise, but just because that's what everyone else is talking about. And F1 commentary almost solely relies on what we're excited about last week to determine what's going to happen this week. Last year and the year before and the year before, it was just driver of the day, Max Verstappen. Best driver of the Max Verstappen. Like, why even? You're not much of a pundit if that's all you're going to say is spit out the same name all the time. It does look like Oscar is a mature racer already, and he has that preternatural maturity. I mean, just imagine you at 15 leaving your parents and going to live with Mark Webber and his wife.
Is that what happened?
To drive cars, yeah.
I feel like Mark Webber's
I mean, you got to grow. I'd love to talk about that more. I mean, you got to grow up real quick. You got to have that in you already. Like, that's weird. Lando did not do the work on the off season that he was supposed to, because he's the same Lando as last year, pretty much, right? He's still that guy who, now correct me if I'm wrong, who even with his thumb on the radio button, on the comms button in the car, will call himself an idiot, right? In order for you to be recorded, in order for your comms to go out into broadcast land, the driver has to have their thumb on the button and be speaking to. That's why in the beginning of this year, we heard Hamilton say stuff that he didn't mean to get out because he got one button mixed up with the other. He didn't know he was pressing the comms button. So
you mean have a cup of tea while you're at it line?
No, it was earlier. It was some earlier complaints. There's been so many from Lewis. So
he's frustrated.
So Lando hasn't done the work, so much so that he'll shit talk himself and he'll do it publicly. And then
can I hop in there real
George,
quick?
and then George, go ahead. I'll talk about George after.
Well, Oscar, I mean, Lando seems to do it the most, but Oscar has sort of made over time has said a couple things about an error he's made or two while he races. So has George. Maybe not as obviously not as often, and not in the same way. Like Lando legitimately like is really when he says he's an idiot, you really feel like he's really saying he's an idiot. You know.
We both know that sort of trash talking.
Okay, so George. Hey,
George,
babes.
George,
Hey, babes, can you give us some more coffee, babe?
how much coffee do you drink?
Well, you know, a quarter of a pound.
Where's Christina going?
She's off to teach Pilates.
Good for her. George resides in a place we call Hope. George winning anything. Same with Mercedes for this year. Next year, all bets are off. And I put Mercedes in that place of hope because they'll be fourth or fifth, but I don't think they'll crack the top three. We want them to because we're so excited about Kimi. He's such a nice guy.
He got pole position.
We love a nice guy. And a nice guy who's honest about it and not a liar of a nice guy. Lando, we're not sure about Lando because we don't know. We can't pin him down. We're like, what's the truth there? What's happening? Are you being honest with us? Because you don't. Well, because you trash talk yourself, and then on microphone you're unhappy to talk to anybody. So it just seems like you're unhappy with everything.
I listen. You're talking earlier about punditry, right? Like, you know, no one says anything. No one has a strong opinion about anybody, really. So I'll give you some punditry. Oscar Piastri was a dick last year when he passed Lando around the outside on the second corner of Monza. And everyone says, oh, that was brilliant. Oh, that was amazing. He actually compromised McLaren's race in that. They actually finished worse had he just stayed the course. Lando got on pole. Lando won the first corner. Let's just leave it at that. Now, some people would say, well, that's not a racer. That's what Oscar did. I'm going to go. Oscar decided to take something into his own hands and do it. And he saw an opportunity and took it. And that's what everyone says racers should be. Okay, great. If I was Lando, I would almost certainly disagree with team orders at some point. And I almost certainly would bring up that year. I'd be like, well, you know what? I went tit for tat this time. And you guys can, you know, lambaste me for however you want to lambaste me for breaking team orders. But I went tit for tat because I'm trying to fight for the season. That's what he was trying to do. I'm doing it. Figure it out with your stupid papaya rules. I think that the thing with Lando is, I think Lando actually thinks, he might be friends with Max, but I think he actually thinks Max is a dick racer. That's what he thinks. And he should say it. And he doesn't. He says, oh, we all know Max is hard. That's how he should just say that. You know what? I actually think Max, I'm friends with him, but the way he races, I don't think it's cool. I think it's gross. I think it's over the line. I think he's willing to crash before, race with craft. Like, I don't care what anyone says about Max. He sure is great, but he does not race with true craft. Anyone can turn their car into a missile and drive it off the track. This is the punditry that you want to see on Sky TV, right? You want someone on Sky TV talking like this. I don't watch it anymore. It's so boring. No one talks with like having an opinion. You want to take going back to Oscar being all cool and level-headed. Do you know how you make him uncool and level-headed? By starting to like literally touch wheels, crash into him, do whatever you got to do. Do it. Because if you let him know that you're not going to, and I'm not saying that that's the racecraft you want. I'm going to say you purposely crash. That's not what I'm saying. But you put your car in a position where if you guys touch, you touch. Like, end of story. What happened in the last race? Was it the last race in Miami? Lando put his car in a position, right, where he had to get out of the way. Right? Like he really had no choice. Was he wrong to put his car there? No, but he could have kept his car there. And they probably would have ended both their races, probably. But he could have kept his car and said, I'm not giving up space.
I think that's crazy, but I know where you're going. I know the intention behind what you're saying. But I think that would do more damage than good, especially knowing who Lando is.
Well, Lando needs to see. Lando says he said in that race, well, if you don't get out of the way of Max, he'll crash. Then don't get out of the way of Max.
But what I'm suggesting is that that's not humanly possible for Lando.
Well, he's got to find that.
I don't think I understand that, but I wonder if instead of becoming more like a Max or an Oscar, Lando has to figure out his own way through.
Well, I mean, you're probably right. I mean, you can't be. I mean, that's what he's saying on all the podcasts and everything. But I don't see him getting any better. And
he hasn't done it yet. He hasn't done it, and I don't think he. I wonder if he takes his off season seriously, and I wonder if he takes his mental health seriously.
He stopped drinking. He's not partying on weekends. He's doing everything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's good, but to me, it's still a response that may not have a lot of true aim. Like, what is your target? This is what you want to be. Is not drinking a part of that? Was drinking getting in the way of it? I mean, maybe. I don't know. But if you
Mark
look
Webber went to Ibiza, got high and drunk, came back and won the Spanish Grand Prix.
Right. So
partied with Eddie Jordan, I think it was, and then won a race in a Red Bull.
So maybe Mark Webber should be Lando's manager.
Well, Lando should definitely learn from Mark Webber.
So, I mean, that was the 90s or the aughts.
No.
That was the aughts.
No.
Oh,
the
aughts.
Teens.
That was the aughts.
Yeah. Right.
It was a different time. We were all in Ibiza. What was I going to say? If you go backwards, if you take a bunch of steps back from when he moved aside in order to not crash into Max, if you go back 100 steps, you'll find the root of what Lando has to work on. I don't think it's pointing to one race incident that's going to inform the work he has to do. Lando has to do a bunch of work deep down in his head. These are ancient behavioral patterns.
This is your psychological side.
It is, but it's also the way I...
That sounds good for a podcast.
Yeah, sorry. It's also the way I teach. And it's if you start with the result you see, you can only change so much, you know. In great performance, you have to go deeper first, don't you? You have to do the subtext.
I mean, I have no idea. I have no idea what it'd be like to be elite.
You have to start on the work before you take any action. Like in acting, you start the work you do is before you even open your mouth. Same with improv. You're a great improviser because you listen, because you know about stillness, because you come out there and you don't make a move. A sharpshooter doesn't make a move first. They wait, they control their breath, blah blah blah. Lando goes out there, he already has Max sitting on his shoulder, and you can tell. And the fact that he hangs out with him, gets a ride on his jet, you're absolutely right. That is step one, is to not hang out with Max anymore. If you're taking your F1, if you're taking this year seriously, no more. That's codependence. That is textbook codependence right there. Lando needs that frenemy, abusive style of relationship for whatever reason. Fill that hole another way, Lando. I
wonder, like, if his strategy is, well, I'll be friends with him, and then he'll be a more respectful racer. I don't think that's what's going to happen. I mean, that seems like an outlandish approach, doesn't it?
Outlandish. I think Oscar knows how to do that. See, I still got it. I think Oscar knows how to be not friends, but friendly with everyone. Meanwhile, as soon as your back is turned, he'll fucking cut you.
Yeah, I mean... It's going to be fascinating because I think it really will probably if the Mercedes and Russell can't come through.
What are your predictions for this triple header?
Well, I actually think Lando, if Lando has a clean start to the weekend, no major bumps, I think he'll win the Imola Grand Prix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean clean start? Is he good in qualifying?
No, what I mean is comes in, there's no like weirdness with the free practice setting up the car. There's nothing to destabilize his approach.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he'll win. I think he'll win. Like I think that's what'll happen if he has that.
Do you think that's like? Are you counting up a whole bunch of evidence, or are you hoping he wins?
He's raced well at that track before. It's the type of track that I think that he does well at, like because it's got the type of corners. I think Oscar does better at tracks with consistently really high speed corners. So like whereas Lando, like there's more turns and there are high speed corners in Imola, but there's I think Lando will have an advantage there. I think there's a chance that the tires could be more of a problem there, which in theory should be better for McLaren and there in turn for Lando, because Lando has historically been better, but is Oscar better at managing his tires now? Perhaps. I just think that if he has a clean start on the Friday, that he can win that race. Monaco,
because that'll preserve his outlook.
Yeah, like he won't
Right.
be like
He won't spiral.
Yeah, and I think because he actually did have a good race in Miami. He did. The only challenge was that incident with Max. I think Monaco's another story. I think in theory the fastest car should be on the pole in Monaco, which is McLaren's. But sometimes I can actually see Max being on pole there for some reason. I could see Max pulling that out. I could also see George somehow, like just them getting the right setup. And then if that's the case, no one can really pass in Monaco. So whoever's on pole should technically win. That's why I'd almost put money down on George Russell. That would be a good bet.
Doesn't Monaco come down to tires and pit strategy because there's mandatory 2 stops?
Well, yeah, whoever's on pole is still gonna you still have the advantage. It's just so hard to pass.
Right. Yeah,
you'd have to and then that's a new rule, so we'll see how that unfolds. I don't think it's going to change anything. And then then it's the Spanish Grand Prix, which is a track that I think McLaren will destroy everybody on. They'll win by like 30 seconds. And
because
again,
it's hot.
It's because it's hot, but because it's also the type of track. But it's the type of track where I think Oscar might have the advantage. So that's my prediction. My prediction is if Lando can have clean starts to weekends, he'll do just fine. He'll do just fine. And what he also needs is, this sounds hilarious. He needs. I think he could probably battle Oscar just fine. He just needs Max not around.
Well, he had that in the last race or the race before it.
Well, he would have had Max not, had that moment of.
He had it in the last race, right? Max wasn't on the podium. It was so great to not see his face afterwards very much.
Oh yeah, it's great. But what I mean is if Max qualifies 4th or 5th and isn't part of the real beginning of a race, I think Lando has a better chance of winning for some reason. Probably because he's got Max somewhere in his head somehow messing with him.
Max can be additive to Lando's equation. Like if Lando can figure out how to use Max to his advantage, to fire him up rather than to always be back-footed by him. I wonder if one way to change Lando's attitude is there's no one fun in the paddock anymore. There's delightful Kimi. There's respected George. Alex Albon is probably the most fun now. I know people would argue that Ricciardo was fun, but that was just annoying. There's no one who is really out there enjoying themselves. Maybe Oscar is, but you can't tell because
No,
he's
he's a
a
bit of a
flatliner.
yeah.
If Lando, instead of like always long-faced and trying to make the post-race chat okay, what if he just tried to enjoy it?
Well, he does seem to be like a fun-spirited person who you'd probably want to
He
hang out with.
does.
So
He
maybe you're right.
does.
Maybe just be that, and just not. I don't know if you have to party, but yeah, be more playful.
Well,
I
he's
think
not allowed to party, but if
yeah.
he, instead of like gritting his teeth and bearing it, if he walked up to Yuki, does it. Yuki goes into a chat with Laura, what's her face, and Chris and Hinch and all the Lawrence, and he'll go up. He'll come in too soon, and he'll stay too long, and you'll see the broadcasters go, "Okay, Yuki, it's time for you to go," and Yuki's just like Yuki's so happy to be there. Lando could take a little bit of that and enjoy himself. It may go a long way to reduce his cortisol levels.
More psychology, right?
Well, I mean, Milky, I'm balls deep in it these days.
What are you learning about it? What is like? What
Right
are
now, I'm
three
learning about ethics.
Oh. No,
Yeah,
but like
so
that's so that right. If something goes, that's fascinating. Like you think someone might do something bad, what do you do?
yeah, duty to warn. That's
But
what
how
that's
are you
called.
applying your lessons like to everyday life?
Oh, I don't really yet, or I
Okay.
try not to, because I don't really know anything.
Okay.
I've been doing it since January, 4.5 months, 5.5 months. So I got a long way to go, but it sure is fascinating, and I'm dusting off old parts of my brain that I haven't probably ever used.
Ever.
I mean, I'm thinking back now to me at university in the 90s, and I just, as usual, I look back at my past and go, what an idiot.
I know. I mean, thanks. Now are we doing our own Landoisms?
No, I'm quite confident these days. And I
Okay.
was quite confident back then. I mean, it ebbs and flows. Yeah.
I mean, I'm proud of you that you're going back to school. That
I'm
you're
proud of me too.
that you're like, because my brain isn't there. My brain goes to like the opposite. Like if I was like, you know what, I got to do something different. And if I wasn't doing what I'm doing now, I'd be like, you know what, I'll just go serve food. I don't care. I'll move to a tourist town and I'll serve anchovies on toast.
You're a simple man, and that's why you're always going to be a happy person.
And cranky, according to you.
Well, you're
earlier.
cranky, but you're also, when you are having a good time, you don't hide it.
No, let's
You
have a good
love
time.
it.
Yeah.
You love a couple drinks. You love singing, right? You love playing guitar.
Yes. I never want to not. When there's the opportunity to have fun, I want to have fun.
Yeah.
Right. Don't just have fun.
It's all the work you're doing that you're hoping that will pay off that is really driving you crazy. Is that right?
The things that are driving me crazy would be the things that I'm doing, stuff that I know that I'm not the best at. Like, let's say we were doing a show, budgeting out a show, and then filling out the final numbers,
Dude.
and then doing my books, keeping my
No.
books on time,
It's
managing
fucking
my finances.
awful.
That stuff is not I'm not very good at
It's
that.
awful.
And
I cleaned my desk yesterday, and I was noticing, I was just being aware of my body, and my heart rate was elevated. I was breathing faster. I was hot and sweaty. I had to take a break. I went and got some water. I stretched. I mean, and that was just cleaning up some receipts, and
I know, right? I
it took me all of an hour, and I had a fucking tantrum like a baby.
I don't know what it is, but all I do know is I don't mind trying to sell a show. I don't mind getting people excited. Hey, we want to rent your theater. We want to do a show in your space. That's fun because the end product is hopefully going to be a fun, and usually it is, good time. So, and I think providing a good time for people to not be on their screens or to, just to get out and be in a room with 40, 50, 100, 200, 300 people seems like a worthwhile ambition in a
Yes, it
world where we
is.
feel disconnected. So then you're like, well, what's that about? Well, that's actually about purpose, right?
Yeah.
I think what happens nowadays, it feels like I want people have like maybe potentially people are losing a sense of meaning.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah.
How do I fit in to
The
this
world is
ridiculous?
crumbling,
Yeah.
and how am I
Mhm.
helping? Maybe that's Lando. Maybe he's suffering from some ennui, some
Yeah.
world weariness, where he's like, I'm going around and around and around in this stupid car. I mean, in an organization that is corrupt as all get out. Meanwhile, look at all the shit that's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a young person. There's all of them are young people except for Fernando.
And Lewis.
No, Lewis is still activated though.
You think so? He's
He's all,
37.
but he's all BLM, and he's
Oh, I see.
you know, like he's in it. He's
Yeah,
he's an
yeah.
activist, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I see
And
what you
maybe
mean.
Fernando is too. I don't know. Just casting dispersions, but maybe there's some young people in there that are like, why the fuck are we doing this?
I mean, I don't know if that's the case necessarily for anyone in F1. I feel like most of those people were so laser focused, whether you're the pit guy or not, that you just wanted to be a part of it. That perhaps they don't even really think about any of that stuff. I think. I mean, again, what do I know? But I do think, as a whole, I feel like people now are not sure what they're doing, and then they're like, they need to know why they're doing. They have to have purpose. They have to have meaning, and then, you know, when people find that, I think people generally feel good. Like, so, like, maybe really all people should do is focus on what brings you satisfaction that isn't money. Obviously, you need to make money, but find that thing that brings you satisfaction first, and then figure out how to supplement that with whatever job, or maybe you can monetize
I love
it.
it.
Who knows?
I love it. Sometimes you can, but you don't have to get your money and your meaning in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
When I look back at how important it was for me to be a professional actor and nothing else,
Mm-hmm.
and now I treat acting like closer to a hobby,
Mm-hmm.
maybe a vocation. You know, it's a calling, but it's
Yeah.
not how I pay bills. The whole meaning thing is that's really key, Milky. I love how you are modeling behavior that is like, here's how I get my meaning, and here's how I generate community. And you should have run for Pope during the conclave. I mean, you're doing incredible stuff out there.
First of all, no offense to people who like the word Pope. Pope just sounds blah.
You don't like that name.
Who wants to be a Pope?
Word. Pope.
That sounds like they could have come with a more flair. I mean, is that an Italian word? Like, Italians have a lot of flair. Is Pope Italian?
I don't know. Maybe Latin?
So let's spruce it up. Like, is it Pope? Papaya.
That's nice. Yeah.
That's something like Pope.
Yeah.
That seems pretty drab to me. Who would want to be the Pope? Oh, great. The Pope's here.
Speaking of Max, where does he go? Where can he go now?
I mean,
If he is leaving Red Bull?
Oh.
If he's leaving, I don't think he is. I think he's there till
either.
2028. Oh, okay. So we agree.
I don't think he's going anywhere.
There's no other team that's an improvement.
No, it's like, well,
there's nowhere for him to go.
No. The only place he might go is Aston Martin, because he's worked with Adrian Newey, and
he doesn't want to rebuild, though. That means he stops winning for years.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't want that, does he?
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, what happens is next year he sees how good that Aston Martin is. If it's good, and maybe it's not, and then he goes over in 2027.
Do you think there's any bearing on the fact that his vanity project is at Aston Martin?
Who?
The Verstappen Racing.
What do you mean?
Verstappen Racing, his racing company, is their main sponsor, or their cars are Aston Martin.
Oh, really?
Yeah, as of this year. But it's if you go on the website, it's mostly pictures of Yos.
Interesting. Well, that's
Yeah.
got to be a sign that he's going. He's going to go there. That's the only place he goes.
I mean, he can't. Toto wouldn't fuck George, would he?
Everyone says
I
that
can't see that
everyone says, well, why wouldn't you sign Max Verstappen?
for so many reasons.
I can think of a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I can think
Me
of a lot of
too.
reasons why I wouldn't sign him.
You could, if for Toto, the reason number one is that means George would have to leave,
Mhm.
or George would be like, I'm out of here. And then you would ruin Kimmy, probably.
Yeah, it seems, yeah.
With Jos Verstappen in the garage and all those fucking maniacs and
Yeah.
that retinue, I'd be like, oh, okay.
No, you're right. You would, like, arguably George is one of the best racers right now anyway. So why would you get rid of him? I mean, that car's finishing well and he's not making mistakes.
Yeah.
He's
very true.
Likable. He's professional. He feels very Mercedes.
He really does feel Mercedes, doesn't he?
You know, it's an amazing story. He, pitched with whatever Microsoft Excel, whatever, way back when he was younger, that Toto Wolff signed him as like a Mercedes young driver. It's all there. And then also, your second point, if you bring in somebody like Max, what does that do to Kimi? If they believe in Kimi and you look at his nature and his spirit and what he's like as a person, you might go, how does he react? How does that energy of Max's consortium of maniacs affect that? And why would you potentially taint the waters? Just give him an environment. Max is not a George Russell. Seems like the type of guy that genuinely would be like, good, you did well. Max would just complain and say, it just doesn't make any sense.
It's a lot to manage.
I do not think that Toto Wolff is going to offer.
The only thing that gives me pause, well, two things, is that it's been a while, right? Toto needs a championship, doesn't he?
Yeah, but typically signing drivers doesn't happen till the summer. Typically, that's usually, but because of like things kind of shifted in weird ways, like when Lewis went to Ferrari, that like did a whole bunch of weird stuff. So normally you wouldn't be doing that. Like normally it's in the summertime when everyone gets sorted, and that's when silly season.
But what I'm saying is, it's been a while since Mercedes has won a championship, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's 20. When is it?
Like, it's not McLaren long, but Toto must be
4 years. It's been 4 years. That's right.
Toto must be under some pressure.
Yeah, but when you look at it like this, 4 years not winning a championship in Formula One is not a long time. 20 years like Ferrari is.
Oh, that's true.
30 years like Williams is.
Yeah.
That's a long time. So everyone in the business of Formula One, and this is what makes Formula One kind of crappy, is everyone knows that one team gets it right all the time.
Yeah.
And then they dominate. McLaren might very well be that team this year. And then we'll be tired of Oscar and or potentially Lando winning all the races.
The other thing I wonder about is the scandal that happened between the FIA and the Wolffs last year. Was it last year or the year before?
Oh, right. Yeah.
And there was that. And then on the most recent season of Drive to Survive, there's Toto talking to MBS on the phone, which made me wonder about their relationship. And I know that MBS doesn't like Susie. So I don't... Toto seems really good at diplomacy. And so maybe he thinks, when he looks at the Verstappen camp, maybe he thinks, and he's met with Yo, because he wanted Max last year. Maybe he thinks he can manage Max. Like Toto thinks I've done all this. I
I
can
mean,
fucking
that's an
manage
interesting
Max.
take. That's an interesting take. Because Toto Wolff came from basically nothing. So all his
Really?
life, yeah. If you look it up, he. It's not like he came from a rich family.
He's worth
I
a
mean, rich.
mint.
I mean, he. I
He
can't.
made all his money in software or something.
Yeah, but when he started, when he was young, he was not like he was,
Yeah.
had tons of money behind him, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. So when someone comes from that position, they do have to have diplomacy. They do have
Yeah,
to have
right.
right. If you come from like a family where perhaps you're not worried about certain things because there's money and power behind you, you can maybe not be as diplomatic because you don't have to worry about it. You can be more confident and your behavior can change
So what
with how you
happened to
communicate.
us? Where do we fit in on the
Well,
scale of
we're
confidence?
we're just not really capable of businessy things.
We're just not capable.
Incapable might be a better word for us.
We're just incapable. We're not even anywhere near we're not even on the same field.
No.
How does that make you feel?
Sad.
Honest, yeah.
It
Makes me feel
makes
sad too.
I wish I was better at business.
Yeah, me too.
Like when you talk about like how did Flavio opens up 900 Benetton. How do you open up 900 Benetton stores in America? Like I don't even know. I don't even understand
I
it.
know.
And also,
How do you
find
run
it
from the
exciting?
law? How do you run from the law? You're sentenced 2 years in prison and you're like, no.
It's just incredible.
I'm going to go to the Caribbean and hide. I don't know.
It's just amazing.
It's just amazing.
So
yeah, and that's why we always look at these people and we want to be around them, and that's why Alpine hired them. They're like, we need a legend in here.
Someone
we need a
who's
pirate.
Not afraid of anything.
Of anything.
Poor Jack Doohan. Here's my prediction on that. I think Franco's going to have some flashes of greatness, but he's going to crash that car a lot.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I think not that I want Franco to do badly, but I think everyone's gonna be like, oh, look at the great decision they made, and then oh, that's another one into the wall. God, like I also don't understand how Red Bull or Alpine can think that we're just going to bring a driver in, and in 6 races they're going to be amazing. Give them the whole season. It doesn't make any sense. Look at how good they're doing with Kimi Antonelli.
There must be some pressure that is making Alpine act so crazy. And maybe that goes back to your theory of them wanting to sell. They want results right away. And so they're just chasing the wrong dragon.
Yeah, because I can't like if you're in it for the long term, you're not doing what they've been doing. There's just no way you're doing what they're doing. There's no proof.
Yeah.
The moment they got rid of Otmar, that was a huge mistake.
Well, I mean, when you hear Otmar on High Performance, you go, what? You had to float payroll twice from your own? I don't understand it. Aren't you still owned by Renault? Like, so there's a ton of weird stuff going on over there. What if Flavio isn't even making any money right now? What if he's just there to sell the team and then he gets a commission?
Yeah, it could. That's what I think is going to happen. I really do.
This is his big last deal, like in a gangster movie, like one more. Okay, let's do one more job and then I'm out.
Yeah, you're right. I think that's exactly what he's been brought in for. I mean, I think I said it first, but
you did say it. So where does this leave Gasly? Gasly wants out so badly.
oh
I
my
bet.
God, And he's a good racer. I feel bad
He
for him.
is.
Here's what I think. I think that if he ends up back at Red Bull,
I was gonna say that too.
Yeah.
But I don't know if he can take Helmut anymore. What if
Helmut's gone, and Helmut is gone, and it's got to be in the next
He's-
3 or 4 days. Just
he's
go
85.
away, please. Just
Why,
can't.
have you heard
listen to him.
anything, or are you just
No,
hoping?
I haven't. I'm just hoping. Every morning I wake up. The first thing I say is, "Please, Helmut Marshall, go away. Can't listen to you anymore."
Who are the two F1 personalities that both own 4 hotels?
Both own 4 hotels.
Yeah, here's some trivia for you.
Well, I feel like I would say Flavio Briatore.
He owns venues. It's true, but it's not him. He owns
Okay.
nightclubs called Billion.
What Formula One personality
Billionaire.
who own hotels? Did drivers included? No, not drivers.
Former driver. David Coulthard owns 4 hotels.
That makes
and
sense.
Dr. Helmut Marko.
I would never say this hotel. What is it? Please tell me he doesn't own Best Western.
I don't think it's Best Western.
Okay.
What about Gasly to Audi or Cadillac?
I could see him. Yeah, I could see him doing it. But he needs, you know what he needs? He needs to go to a team that's already doing good. That's what that guy needs. He needs to go, like, it's just such a bummer for him because he is really good.
Yeah. Gasly and Verstappen at Aston Martin.
Never.
You think that Lawrence likes his son better than he loves winning? Do you think Lawrence will forego a championship for his son? I don't think that's what billionaires are made of. I think they're absolute maniacs.
Well, Lawrence does seem to be a bit of a maniac because it's kind of crazy what he's done. Like
he looks like the archetypal evil billionaire. He's even got the look down. The way he talks, the size of him, he's terrifying. The way he doesn't fucking move. Have you noticed he doesn't move a muscle?
Yeah.
He's like a king. Kings never move. They just wait for other people to come to. Lawrence just sits there with a look on his face like, I own you all.
Off with his head. Now I want to look at some videos to see if Lance. See, like this would be if we were on it. Supplementary would be pop up. You'd see. We'll get there one day.
I don't believe it. I don't think we'll get
Probably
there one
not.
day.
But hey, might as well say it.
Because so far we've been doing this for 6 months.
Yeah,
and
sure.
we haven't put out one clip.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned this on social media.
Yeah. It's different. Different strategy. Right?
I love it. I love that this is the podcast. People will discover it and they'll be like, what? 1,200 episodes? Where have I been? We kept it hidden for a reason.
Okay, JB, I have to go soon, actually. I have to be at the office at 10.
Oh, good for you. Look at you. You're doing work.
Yeah.
Okay, buddy.
I'm around this weekend. If we want to double up.
My parents are here.
Oh, well, say hi to your parents.
No.
Okay, don't.
But I appreciate you feigning interest.
Okay. And then maybe when do they leave?
Victoria Day? Monday. I think Monday.
Okay.
They come on Thursday, they leave on Monday. That's how my parents do it.
Maybe we should try for another Wednesday morning.
I love it. I think we should do it the same day every week.
Of course we should.
I know I've said that a million times.
Yeah, of course we should.
Is there any chance of that happening?
We should probably do it twice a week.
I agree. Let's do it. I wonder if we just tried that, if it wouldn't work. I know you're worried about your schedule, but I wonder if we just tried it for 2 weeks, if you wouldn't be able to expand. I know you're very busy. Expand your capabilities to fit that in. If it wouldn't just slot in there nicely, 2 hours a week.
Well, let me just listen. First of all, fuck off. Okay. No.
Because
Yeah.
here's why. Here's my
I
here's
know
my
why.
strategy.
You don't need to tell me why.
No, I know why. I know why. You don't know why.
I know why.
You have a mountain of work that's unending.
Yes.
So you end every day going, I didn't get enough done.
Yes.
Yeah. So there will never be a good time to add on something that you truly want to do.
Yes.
That is not only you're passionate about,
Yes.
but you know more than most people.
Yes.
Because there's no room in your daily life for taking care of yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. So if we just slot that in.
Yes.
And you call it something else. Call
Yes.
it your workout.
Yes.
Call it whatever it takes. Call it
Okay.
therapy.
I
Call it a doctor's
I agree.
appointment.
I agree. I mean, the other thing too is sometimes I could probably bring this stuff with me. If I was in a hotel room, I could do it.
Yeah.
And midweek is probably better for a weekly, anyways, in light of my work. When we tour, then. But there's also this to think about. We can record and schedule later, like that, so that it comes out every Wednesday and every Sunday. Like we could. Okay.
Oh, I see.
Like we could do that too.
Yeah.
Not having said that, I do think that, if you're doing Twitch or whatever, which I feel like we didn't stream to Twitch today for some reason.
Oh, really?
I added our YouTube channel, and I don't know if I should have because it looks like it replaced Twitch.
I can't see anything.
I see my Facebook page, I see F1 Chapa Facebook page, and I see F1 YouTube. So I feel like we can only do 3. So I'll not go to mine anymore.
Yeah, I think that's because of the
plan
that we're paying for. Yeah.
Well, you're paying for it at the moment, so
I'm paying for it. That's true.
On that note,
I drew a picture of you while. Does that look like you?
Yeah. I don't know why I look like I'm gonna rip someone's head off and eat
I
it.
put your eyebrows in, but then it immediately made you look angrier than you are. You look Mexican here, like a Mexican bandito.
All right. Well, then maybe next Wednesday for sure. And then yes, let's see what happens.
Maybe next Wednesday for sure. Your commitment is
No, we will do Wednesday for sure.
Okay, great.
I said
Wednesday
maybe
for
mostly
sure.
because I wasn't sure if you could.
No, I think I can. Yeah, I'll have to look at my sketch. But yeah, if we just put it in there every week and if we just try that, you can always change it.
Maybe for sure.
Maybe for sure, Milky.
Maybe for sure. Sounds like another T-shirt that's never going to get made.
That's true. All right, buddy.
Okay, peace on earth.